So the first thing you got to do to actually do this job is remove the front bumper. Now to do that, there's 6 clips on top, there's 10 clips underneath, no 10 bolts, sorry, they're all 10mm underneath under the splash tray, and then you got 4 10mm bolts in each of the wheel arches. Just remove those and it should pull straight out. Today's job you're going to need a few tools. You're going to need your reflectors out of your car obviously, because that's where we're going to put the LEDs. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. You're going to need a hairdryer to get apart your reflectors, and then you're going to need your blade fuse wire adapter so we can tap into one of the fuses to get power. Obviously your LEDs, some crimping tool on different ends for the wire, and then you're going to need maybe a drill to get your your bumper off, and then just a regular socket as well. And then we're going to need a drill with a small bit to drill into the running light so we can take the wire out. Okay, so now the second step is to actually try and get these apart. They're held together by glue, so we're going to heat it up with the heat gun and then try and pry it open, but don't break it because we only got one set. Just a little tip when you're doing this, give it heaps and heaps of heat, because I tried to go on this one and I've sort of broken it a little bit, but luckily I can salvage it. But for the next one I'm going to give it heaps and heaps of heat, see if I can pry it open without actually breaking it. Initially getting them apart, I'm not going to lie, it is pretty rough. It is really hard to get them apart without breaking them. I cracked them a little bit around the edges, but I'll be able to fix it with some epoxy plastic glue, which is what we're going to use. Anyway, now it's time to actually put the LEDs in, so we're going to peel off the back stripping, lay them along, stick them down, and then we'll get them back in the car and I'll show you. Alright, so now you're actually going to cut your LEDs to size. So all you're going to do is measure them up, cut them off to how many you think you need, and stick them down. And stick it down. That's all you got to do. Now just repeat for the other side and then we'll get them back together. Once you've got something that looks like this, LED stuck on, now we're actually going to have to drill a hole through the back so the wire can go through. We get to that, you just need a drill and a small bit, drill it through, poke it through, and then good to go. Like that, see in the shadows, but got your light on and then wires poking through the back. Now I've gone ahead and glued these back together, so I've gone ahead and put epoxy all the way around the edges, and then I've put some electrical tape just to hold it while it's drying. Now I'm going to leave this for about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and then we're going to sort out these wires and we're going to plug it in and see if they work. The next step is grab your cable, grab these 2 bits, and then we're going to connect it to the 2 ends of the LED. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. Let's give it a go. Tape them together. Now we're going to try and put it in the car. We're going to use our mini blade fuse adapter. So you plug that into the fuse and then you put your fuse back in that, and then we're drawing power from the accessory, so whenever you turn the key the power will come on. So we're going to put that in, hook these up, and it should all work hopefully. Get that out of the way, and then we're going to draw power from this one here, number 10 at the start, if you can see that. Plug your new adapter in, so push him in, like so. We got power, so we just connect our wires to this, and then we have accessories power. And then you can put your negative on the ground. And voila, she's on. Alright, now they're back in the car. Next step is running the cables so they're out of the way, and then putting the front bar back on and hopefully turn the key and everything still works. Bumper's back on. we're going to start working the cables in. We're going to find. Alright, so I got a little bit of bad news. When I was putting in the actual fuse to run the LEDs, I was pulling from a fuse that was constant power. So when I turned the key, actually not even when I turned the key, I just plugged the fuse in and then plugged all the wires in, and then the LEDs just came on all the time. So, and then I tried every single fuse in the actual in the engine bay in that fuse box, and they're all constant power, which is a little bit annoying because I routed all the wires and I tucked them away, and then I actually ran out of time. So I'm just going to put this video up anyway, and then next week we're going to do a follow-up video on how I rerouted them, and I'm going to plug them into, I'm going to go through the firewall, and then I'm going to plug the fuse into one of the accessories ones underneath the footwell. I'm going to try and get one from there, just because I want them to turn on with the key. Or I've got another idea of actually turning them into LED indicators. So I'm going to tap into one of the indicators, or both indicators, and when you turn right, the right one will flash, and then you turn left, and then the left one will flash with the actual indicator. I reckon that would be pretty cool as well, because since mine are actually orange, when the LEDs come on, they look like they're indicators. So I reckon, why not just make them turn into LED indicators, and then hopefully that'll turn out alright. So I'm sorry about the little problem we had with this video, but hopefully we'll have it fixed by next week. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Kanye, so you did it again, you're a genius.